The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, here is Jonathan Marks. Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marks. Welcome to another Go to Health show. This show is for you today, moms and dads who are pregnant or whose baby is in their first 1,000 days, or if this is easier, from pregnancy to 2 years of age. Proper nutrition is essential for a baby's growth and development, and their dietary needs must evolve as they progress through different infancy stages. This all starts before the baby is born in the mother's first trimester and changes in the second and third trimesters, postpartum, and when a baby is transitioning from breast milk to formula to whole milk. The most active period of neurologic development occurs in the first 1,000 days of life, the period beginning at conception through 2 years of age. This critical period in brain development is known as the first 1,000 days, and failure to provide adequate nutrition during this time can have lifelong effects on a child. Dairy milk, including lactose-free milk, provides 7 out of the 14 nutrients outlined by the American Academy of Pediatrics as essential for early cognitive development during the first 1,000 days. These include protein, iodine, zinc, choline, vitamin B12, selenium, and vitamin A. Speaking about this today is Lauren Manaker. She's an award-winning registered dietitian, 3-time book author, freelance writer, and speaker who prides herself on sharing evidence-based nutrition information. Lauren holds a master's and bachelor's degree in nutrition, and she has held many leadership roles within the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics throughout her career. She is currently on the advisory board for the University of South Carolina's dietetic internship to help shape the future of dietetics education. She's a certified lactation education counselor, and her work focuses on fertility, pregnancy, and postnatal nutrition. She's a regular contributor to many media outlets, including Eat Well, Very Well Health, and Pop Sugar/PS. Plus, she's on the medical advisory board for Eat This, Not That. Welcome to the show, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Good, thank you. So tell us about the first 1,000 days and why it's so critical to a baby's growth and development.
So the first 1,000 days starts on the day of conception and it ends on the child's second birthday. And during that time is when the brain grows more rapidly than during any other time in a human's life. So because of this, nutrition becomes very important, especially consuming those nutrients that support the development of building blocks for cognitive abilities, motor skills, and social and emotional development. So as parents, of course, we want to start the children out on the right foot, and we can help do that by eating those nutrients that support brain health during pregnancy, lactation, and when the child starts eating solids and transitioning to whole milk.
Great. And how do nutrition needs change as mothers progress through the trimesters of pregnancy?
So the nutrition needs can change in many different ways. One thing we do need to remember is there are some nutrients that continue to be important throughout pregnancy that we can't lose sight of. And a lot of those are nutrients that support that brain development. And in fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics has identified 14 nutrients that they call the building blocks for early brain development. 14 of them. Some include zinc, iodine, choline, vitamin B12, selenium. These are all nutrients that we really need to focus on throughout the entire pregnancy. And some of those, vitamin B12, iodine, and choline, can have a time-sensitive impact during this time of development, which means that shortfalls during those first 1,000 days can have a profound impact on the child's health throughout their life. So iodine is one that we're finding more Americans are not consuming enough of. They're not consuming the recommended amounts. And specifically women between the ages of 15 and 49, some data suggesting that around 50% of them, around half, are not consuming the recommended amount. So they could have iodine deficiency and not even know it.
Wow. Okay. Tell us about nutrition needs when the baby's born. How does that change?
So when the baby's born, obviously they're not developing the organs like they were in utero, but their brain is still developing even when they're born. I think sometimes people lose sight of that. They think once baby's born, they're just growing. But the brain is still developing once baby is born. And baby depends on if mom is breastfeeding. Baby depends on mom to consume the right nutrients in order to fuel baby with those nutrients. So again, during that lactation stage, we need to focus on those 14 nutrients that the American Academy of Pediatrics highlights as key for the building blocks for proper brain development, like iodine.
Got it. And tell us a little bit about including dairy milk in kids' diets. When do we introduce it? What do we do to minimize allergies to dairy milk? Tell us more about that.
Sure. So typically, this is something people should discuss with their healthcare provider, but typically dairy milk is introduced around the age of 1, and dairy milk is considered an excellent source of iodine, and it provides 7 of those 14 nutrients that the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends for that brain health development support. So once they reach that age, they can include dairy milk just in their cup. They could include it in a smoothie if they suspect lactose intolerance, which isn't that common in children, but lactose-free milk provides all of the same nutrients as traditional milk, original milk, whatever you want to call it, just minus that lactose sugar. So both can be an excellent option if we're trying to get that iodine in, we're trying to get that choline in, we're trying to get those 7 nutrients out of those 14 that the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends.
And when a mother is pregnant or nursing, does her consumption of dairy milk make a difference to the baby?
It certainly can. I mean, when the mother's pregnant, the baby's solely dependent on what the mom's consuming.
Sure.
And there is some evidence showing that deficiencies by the mom can have a lifelong impact on the child. Again, I keep talking about iodine. I just find that it's such an important nutrient that we're not talking enough of.
Yes.
The World Health Organization has suggested that iodine deficiency is the single most significant cause of preventable brain damage. And iodine supports that structural formation of the brain, and it's necessary for nerve cells to grow, develop, and create connections with one another. So during pregnancy, during lactation, during those first 1,000 days, iodine is just critical.
So what are some creative ways to include dairy milk in meals and snacks for both mothers and toddlers, including picky eaters, which I know we can have?
Yes. Oh, I have one. I could speak from experience. We do a lot of smoothies in my home. When I was pregnant, I drank smoothies. When I was breastfeeding, I drank smoothies. It's one of the easiest ways to include dairy along with other nutrient-dense foods in an easy way. I mean, especially when you're postpartum and you're running around with a baby and there's just so much going on. It's lovely to have something that you don't have a lot of dishes to clean up afterwards and you could drink with one hand.
Yes.
So what I like to do is take the dairy milk or lactose-free dairy milk, make it into a very basic smoothie, some fruit, maybe a little bit of vegetable, the dairy, and then I like to mix and match what I call add-ins, depending on where someone is and what their preferences are. So for maybe children that are more picky, maybe make it a little more dairy and fruit heavy, but then you could maybe sneak in some spinach or add some avocado for those healthy fats.
Nice.
If you're pregnant and experiencing nausea, you can take that basic smoothie and add some fresh ginger to it. So it's an easy solution that could bring you throughout the entire journey.
Great. So there are 2 websites people can go to learn more. And if you know about them, I'd like you to describe what they are and what people will see when they get there. One of them is, I love this, Gonna Need Milk. It's
Yes.
gonnaneedmilk.com. And the
Yes.
other one is thousanddays.org. Tell us about those websites and what people will learn.
So the thousanddays.org digs more into those 1,000 days and why they're so important. It shows the data. I mean, there is data highlighting just how critical nutrition is during those 1,000 days and why we really need to be focusing on that brain health aspect of baby's development during pregnancy, breastfeeding, so on and so forth. So it's a really interesting website to dig into, I think. Gonna Need Milk gives a lot of information about dairy milk and the benefits of dairy milk and how to include it in your diet, and also digs into a lot of that important nutrition information that unfortunately not all of us always have access to. So these are two very easy ways to gain a little more nutrition knowledge.
Good. Thank you so much for being with us today, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we've been talking with Lauren Manaker. She's an award-winning registered dietitian, 3-time book author, freelance writer, and speaker who prides herself on sharing evidence-based nutrition information. We love evidence-based nutrition information. Thanks so much for being with us today, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. And remember, everybody, as we always say at the end of every show, go to health. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Media. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next time. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.